Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Monday Night Raw, January 22nd, 2024, the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. We're in New Orleans, and we got Michael Cole, Wade Barrett on commentary, and this is episode, not nWp, I'm talking about WWE Raw, is 1,600. That's a lot of episodes for a television show. That's crazy. And guess what? News is breaking all over. Raw will be on Netflix starting in January 2025, along with other, I believe if I read the report correct, pay-per-views, special lives. I'm guessing they're moving from Peacock over to Netflix, and that's all going to happen in January 2025. SmackDown and NXT will move to the USA Network starting October 24. I take that back. NXT's on CW in October 2024. Almost got this two mixed up. So, CW gets NXT, USA gets SmackDown, Fox gets nothing. And The Rock, the great one, if you smell, is on the TKO board. TKO. Tiki. I like that. Let's just call it the Tiki board. He's on the TKO board, and that is the company that owns WWE and UFC. And yeah, so that's a lot to unpack. I don't know how I feel about Raw being on Netflix because Netflix is such a pain in the ass. Our app on our TV is trash. And the only way I get to watch Netflix around here is usually mostly on my phone. And for some reason on the TV, it keeps crashing and whatnot. So either I need to buy a new TV to update that Netflix app or something because I need my Monday Night Raw. And SmackDown being on the USA Network is going to be interesting. And then hopefully on a Friday night. And NXT on CW. You know, and what's crazy about all this is, are they going to change their days on where they're going to be on Tuesdays and Fridays and whatnot? You know, we're in a whole new other world, and I think WWE's making the deals of being like, hey, no, we keep Monday Night Raw on Monday, we keep SmackDown on Friday, we keep NXT on Tuesday, because it's a nice little, like, you get Raw, you get NXT, a couple days off, then you get SmackDown, you know? It kind of just works in that element of not being too much. So we'll see what happens when Raw gets on Netflix, and this is a huge deal, and this is a huge show. Cody and Punk arrive, and they're here, and they're going to go face-to-face later on tonight, and I'm just like, oh, man. But we have Seth freaking Rollins, all the reports saying he was injured, he's got something wrong, and he has a brace on his legs, wearing a beautiful green suit, and he's like, yeah, he goes, I have to get I tore a muscle and stuff like that. Could be out for 3 to 4 months and everything, and everyone's like, no, and he's very emotional about this. But here comes Gunther with Imperium. He comes out and he interrupts Seth, and he goes, yeah, you're a fighting champion, but it's so sad to see you like this. You remind me of me and everything like that. And then Seth Rollins is like, you didn't let me finish. I will be at WrestleMania. I will push my knee to how far it needs to go. I will get 100% healthy, and by WrestleMania, I'll be ready to go. Gunther goes, well, when I win the Royal Rumble, you are the person I will challenge, and I'll break your knee, I'll break your back. And I was like, damn. And this was a great interaction between these two, because I'm like, man, that would be a match, right? But we know we're not going to go there because I've already saw some confirmations and everything like that Seth is going to face Punk at WrestleMania. Like, that's I feel like that's a done deal. It's going to happen, and we want it to happen, right? If someone says no, put that in the comments below. The New Day come out and attack Imperium after this face-to-face with Seth and Gunther. And The New Day goes into a match. It comes to a double countout. I mean, it's a slugfest, a slobber knocker, if you will. They start beating the shit out of each other through the arena and everything like that. And then a big table spot, boom, and everyone's like, "Holy beep!" You know, this was fun, and I was like, "This is like Michael Cole says, this is far from over." And the fact that it went to a double countout is insane. WWE 2K24, the game. Cody's on the main cover. Bianca, Rhea are on the deluxe edition. And we got 40 years of WrestleMania. That's crazy, man. That's insane to even put a number on it, man. 40 years of WrestleMania. Also, too, they're celebrating the Hulkster, Hulkamania, 40 years ago started. Waffle, 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 brother, you know. And this makes me feel old. Damian and Drew package because they got a match tonight in the main event. A lot of heat between these two. The Judgment Day is backstage, and a little bit of attention between Damian and Rhea. Yeah, I don't think Damian's taking her shit anymore. He's like, hey, you know, you over here, you're calling shots, you're going to Adam's office and this and that. And then she's like, yeah, because she tells Finn and Damian, you guys got a match against DIY with your tag team titles on the line next week on Raw. And Damian gets a little like, hey, you know what, I'm going to handle business. I'm going to handle myself. He leaves. Rhea looks at Damian. JD's like, hey, you guys are supposed to take care of DIY, but tonight, you know, Finn, you're going to be with JD and Dominic for Dominic's match later on. And Mommy's not happy. You can tell she's getting frustrated and everything like that. We have Ivy Nile backstage with Maxine. You know, a little bit of an interview before her match. The Creed brothers come and hype her up, and Ivy's like, hey, I got to do this myself. And it's Ivy Nile versus Valhalla. And Nikki Cross was in the background out of nowhere. She's just walking. She's just there. I was like, oh, okay. Nikki Cross is still a thing. All right, but big win for Ivy. This was a fun match. Nothing too crazy, but yeah. So Ivy Nile, and I don't think this is far from over. Alpha Academy versus Ivar and Valhalla. This is far from over. You know, the New Day and Jey Uso are backstage, and you know Jay's like, yeah, you guys got this, man. You got this, and the New Day goes on. They cut a promo and everything with Jackie and everything like that. And Kofi's going to challenge Gunther next week for the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah. That's a big match. Big match. And Damage Control is in the background, slowly walking as well. I kind of found that interesting with a Nikki Cross walking and Damage Control and everything like that. So I was like, And Triple H likes doing that. He likes these little Easter eggs he puts in the background. And they're usually for a reason. So we'll see where that goes. Nia Jax comes out to cut a promo, and here comes the man. Then here comes Bayley, and it just basically ends up in the fight. These women want to win the Royal Rumble itself. They want to go on to headline WrestleMania, and my money's on Bayley for the Rumble. We'll talk more about that, my picks and predictions, but I told my wife last night, I was like, I'm for Bayley on this one. Then we have the man backstage. He gets in Rhea's face. A little bit of tension there and everything like that. A little more of a tease. It's like, okay. I would love to see these two fight, you know. The Miz versus Dominic Mysterio with JD and Finn. And the Miz lost. Dominic got the win. He got a win. A big win. But the Miz is looking great, right? Right? I'm not wrong. I can't be wrong. The Miz is looking fantastic, brother. Like he's shining in that ring, man. And I gotta say that he's turned it up a notch with his big balls and everything like that. So, big win for Dominic. Great show for the Miz, and everyone's cheering on the Miz also. And the Miz had a little thing with the Truth earlier in the day. And he's like, "Hey, man, don't trust the Judgment Day." And Truth is delusional. And he's just like, all right, wink. Don't tag in, wink. You know. But after they start beating down the Miz, here comes DIY, and they're gonna they want those tag team championships very bad. And that match is gonna be crazy. The Judgment Day versus DIY. Jackie's backstage with Damian Priest. Truth tries to get involved, but I like what Truth does. Like, hey, and Truth goes, "Oh, hey man, I get it. You want to be in your own lane right now? And he's like, yeah, just not right now, Truth. And he goes, okay. And he goes, I want the money. He's like, all right. You know, you handle your business. Bronson Reed promo, and he calls out Jey Uso, and we're getting Bronson Reed versus Jey Uso next Monday. So Monday Night Raw is already stacking itself after this weekend for the Royal Rumble itself. So a lot to look forward to. We have Alpha Academy backstage, you know, hyping up with we got Chad that's going to take on Ivar here next in a crazy match. In the Sheer is backstage, and they want to talk to Adam about opportunities because Ginger's like, hey man, I'm the most talked about right now, so let's do this. Let's get this going. And Adam's like, all right, well, we'll talk. And he's like, I need a drink. That's his catchline now. Chad Gable versus Ivar. Ivar for the win, but goddamn. Whoo, Chad, man. You cannot go wrong with the mat master, the mat magician. You know, Chad took Ivar to a whole new level, and it took Valhalla to help Ivar win this match. But man, you talk about gold. And Chad picking his big ass up, and bam, you know, it was a crazy, great match. I got to say, this was contending for my match of the night. Next up, we have Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Oh my God, it was we were counting down to this, and it's that top of the second hour into the third hour of Monday Night Raw, and you know everyone's tuning in. Who's gonna say what? Punk goes into a story saying, you know, Dusty called him and told him to take care of Cody. He never got in Cody's way, but he kept an eye out on Cody. Cody gives him flowers as well, says, hey man, you before you even got here, you put some grind on the independent scene and the business and stuff like that. And then Punk goes in a little more deeper. He's like, you know, my dad's an electrician, and it's kind of odd because I am more of the American dream than you are. And it was like, oh shit. And then Cody Rhodes comes back. He's like, oh yeah? He goes, you left. And that was it. You did nothing. You were gone. You dropped the business and everything out of your hands. What did I do? I left and I did stuff. I did what I needed to. I accomplished this. I accomplished that. And I'm more of a CM Punk than you. And Punk goes, oh. And everyone's like, oh, you know. And Punk gets in his face. He's like, oh, you think you're more CM Punk than me? And just a back and forth, and you could feel the tension, and then they get face to face with each other, and everyone's like, oh. And Cody even tells like, hey, my road is going right through you. And CM Punk is also too like, there's no friends in the Royal Rumble, and I will throw your ass out. So this is storytelling at its finest. And CM Punk and Cody Rhodes face to face like this, you can feel the tension, and you know when these two meet in the Rumble, it's going to be special. Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae versus Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler and Zoe and Shayna got the win. I think this is just a quick match to have a match before our main event. But Chance and Carter are ringside. They're watching. There's like, who's going to be next for their tag team championships? Because they have a big tag team championship match on SmackDown, and it's against the Kabuki Warriors. And I am pulling for the Kabuki Warriors to win this match. I'm not a big Chance and Carter fan. I think they need a little bit more time to develop. I feel like them winning the championships that soon is just too soon. So I hope the Kabuki Warriors can win those tag team championships after beating down Chance and Carter. Drew's with Jackie backstage, quick interview before he gets to his the big main event here. Then we have Damage Control, backstage. And, of course, again, Natalya and Tegan Nox cannot mind their own business, get in the face of Damage Control and everything like that. And, it's causing a lot of ruckus. Now the main event, Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Fun match, hard-hitting like I expected. And R-Truth comes out, has his money, and then Damian tells him, like, dude, not now. This is the worst time. He's like, I'll put the money in your briefcase. And he runs over to the briefcase, and he's screaming at Damian, like, what's the passcode? Basically causing Damian to lose this match to Drew McIntyre, but Drew McIntyre got a big one. And I saw some after footage of Damian Priest and R-Truth together, and R-Truth putting his hand up and, R-Truth is great. But there's only so much you can do with this storyline. And I wonder if Truth is in the Rumble, because that's going to be fun, if he is. So now we're on to the Royal Rumble, folks. Then WrestleMania season will begin. What's going to happen with Seth? What's going to happen with Drew? Who's going to win the Royal Rumble? That's the question on everyone's mind. And I'm excited. Are you excited for the Royal Rumble? And right now, I'm just going to put it out there. My picks and predictions for the Royal Rumble right now. Women's Royal Rumble, I have 100%, like I feel like we're going to get the Man and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, and Bayley's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble to face Io Sky for her championship at WrestleMania. Bayley winning the Royal Rumble. And for the Men's Royal Rumble, man, that is a tough one. It's a tough one because who do you pick and where does that story go? Because we are going to get Punk and Seth at WrestleMania. Night 1, night 2, doesn't matter. Either or, it's going to be a main event. But we got Cody Rhodes, and I'm leaning more towards Cody. We're going to get down to Cody and Punk. But Cody's going to get the win, and he's automatically going to want to face Roman Reigns once more. But on the flip side of that, Punk could win and go, and then, of course, challenge Seth Rollins. I think it's going to come down to Gunther again in the main three and whatnot. It's going to be Cody, Punk, and Gunther. But also, too, you got to really think, where does The Rock fit in all of this? Because he called out the head of the table, and that's why the Men's Royal Rumble has more to it this year, just because you got Punk, you got Cody, and you got The Rock to think about again. And he's on the board now, the Tiki board. And that's where everything's standing is like, oh, I got Cody. No, Punk. But The Rock's out there. But I am picking Cody Rhodes. I am picking Cody Rhodes to win the Men's Royal Rumble. They were really pushing on commentary. No one's won back-to-back since Stone Cold Steve Austin. They were really pushing that narrative tonight on Monday Night Raw. Like, no one has done back-to-back wins. No one has done back-to-back wins since Stone Cold Steve Austin. So that's why I in my logical brain, as I put it together, I'm seeing Cody is going to win the Royal Rumble, and it will come down to Cody and Punk. But Punk will find his way to face Seth Rollins. But also, too, where does The Rock play in all of this? That call-out was huge. And we're all waiting on when that's actually going to pay off, because there was already reports that The Rock is not going to be at Elimination Chamber in Australia. He's not going to work that, because I was like, that's a great main event, right, Roman? And, so I'm picking Cody Rhodes for the Men's Royal Rumble and Bayley for the Women's Royal Rumble. For the Fatal 4-Way, I am picking Roman, AJ Styles, LA Knight, and Randy Orton. I am picking Roman Reigns to retain that championship. There's going to be outside interference. Jimmy and Solo are going to find their way into that match, and that's going to be the determination of Roman winning and keeping his championships. Because there was big rumors that Randy's going to beat Roman for the championship. Then it's going to be Randy and Cody and everything like that. But I think WWE, or hopefully Triple H, is smart enough to know that we want Roman, Cody too. That's the story. That's where we get. After that big emotional loss at last year's WrestleMania in Hollywood, we want Cody, Roman too. That's what we want. So Roman's going to retain me. He's not even going to be at Elimination Chamber. He's not even like... It's just like, okay, who's gonna defend that there? And I think that's where CM Punk is gonna get his opportunity to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. He's still gonna get his shot, and it's gonna be in elimination, because they did that last time. Who's gonna get the other champion in Elimination Chamber? That's where we're gonna determine that, and that's where I feel like Becky Lynch is going to win her opportunity as well in one of those Elimination Chamber pods for a number one contendership. Then we move on to WrestleMania. Bada bing, bada boom. And next up, Logan Paul versus KO for the United States Championship. I have my money on KO. And I think these two are going to make a big match. Huge match, And I think Kevin Owens is going to knock out. He's going to knock out Logan Paul and bring home the United States Championship. So there we go. Those are the matches as right now announced for the Royal Rumble. That's all we need. Women's Royal Rumble, Men's Royal Rumble, Fatal 4-Way, and the United States Championship. There's my picks and predictions going into this week. We got NXT, we got SmackDown. It's a big week for pro wrestling, and we still have AEW on top of that. And they're on Saturday night as well as the Royal Rumble, but I think their viewership probably will go down because everybody wants to see the Royal Rumble. Everybody. All right, y'all, but this is a good time to be alive, to be a pro wrestling fan. So drop those comments below, hit that like, hit that subscribe. And for Monday Night Raw, I have to say, I give it a solid 5 out of 5. It was a really good show, solid show, told the stories we needed to tell. My match of the night for Monday Night Raw was The Miz versus Dominic. I really enjoyed that because The Miz was just showing off, and then Chad Gable versus Ivar was second to that. New Day and Imperium just being the shit out of each other. I'm like, give me more of that. And we got another big Monday Night Raw next week. We can't go wrong here, folks. And tell me what you thought of my picks and predictions for the Royal Rumble and where we're going story-wise. And like and subscribe again. Share it with your grandma, share it with your grandpa, share it with the bum down at Walmart. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself that sweet nWp logo. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
More of the American dream than you are. Everything that you spoke about, I literally did.